Hello everybody and welcome to Nathan on Shuffle and the latest episode of New Music Friday. It's April 29th, 2022, and this is the show where I give you guys the latest prog news and I give you guys updates on what's been happening on the channel and what's coming up. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I do these news shows weekly every Friday morning, and I'd love to have as many people on board and be kind of this one-stop shop for all the greatest prog news, and you could get my thoughts on the things that are happening, and maybe you'll be introduced to some things that you didn't know were going on in the world of prog. So definitely want to invite people to subscribe if you haven't yet. So thank you guys so much for all your support, and now let's dive into the top 5 prog headlines. This was a pretty big news week, some really major news items that I'm excited to get into, and I'm sure my fans and followers who know me know what's coming up here. But I'm going to start with item number 1, which is Kaipa's new album release that came out today. The album is called Urskog. This is their 14th studio album, and it features a new drummer to the band. Replacing Morgan Agron is Darby Todd, who is a fantastic drummer who's worked with a lot of notable musicians in the prog sphere, with Devin Townsend, The Darkness, Gary Moore, Martin Barr, including many others. So this is a great album. I've listened to it. It's a fantastic entry into their catalog of some great sounds in that classic Swedish symphonic style, but with little touchstones of folk and jazz. Really, really a great album with some great big epic pieces and just really great at what they do, and this is no exception. So I'm not going to talk too much in depth here about it because I'm going to be doing a full-on album review, which will be coming out this next Tuesday, where I typically do my album-related shows, and I'm excited to get into it then, but just know it's recommended, and it's a very strong new prog release that deserves some attention in that classic Swedish symphonic style that they're known for. Hans Lundin, of course, is the keyboardist and kind of the main long-standing member of the group who has kept it going all these years, and his playing is remarkable on it, along with everyone else. Per Nilsson on guitars, Jonas Reingold on bass, as I mentioned, Darby Todd on drums, and then singing from Patrick Lundstrom and Alina Gibson, kind of the 1-2 punch of the male and female vocals, which really gives them their identity and sound. So really excited for that release, and hopefully you guys will check it out as an incredible new prog album. Item number 2 is probably the biggest item of the week from my realm of what I tend to like and appreciate. It's, of course, the news about Big Big Train. Big Big Train announced their new vocalist, Alberto Bravin, and additional shows that are scheduled for Europe upcoming. So it's really exciting to see the band continuing and making these new steps in this new direction. Of course, they had this unfortunate passing of their previous lead singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist David Lungden, who was such an important fixture of the band, and it was such a tragic loss that people are still dealing with and coming to terms with, and it's been a really difficult thing, and it was uncertain what path that the band would go down now that he passed away. Would they retire as a band? Would they continue on with a new vocalist? What would they continue with who they had in the band and just move forward with who's left? Well, it seems like the path they've taken is to bring upon a new vocalist, Alberto Bravin, who's an Italian singer from the band PFM. He's been touring and playing with them for quite a few years, from looks like 2015 to January 2022, playing in Italy and internationally, singing lead and backing vocals and playing keyboards for PFM. Of course, PFM is a legendary Italian prog band who've been around since the 70s, so very much a staple of prog music there. So it's really interesting that they're pulling this member from that band and bringing him into the fold of Big Big Train. There's a great video about his introduction into the band and them announcing this and kind of talking about what's going to be happening with the group. And I recommend that. I'll put it in the description, a link to that video. Really fantastic, I thought. A great way to look into the chemistry of the band members and to really feel good about the direction they're heading, for me at least. And it seems like they brought him, it seems like they were made aware of him from seeing him perform live. It says Big Big Train founder and Gregory Sponton commented that before COVID-19 hit, Nick DiVirgilio and I had seen Alberto perform with PFM. We're very impressed with his abilities as a vocalist and multi-instrumentalist, and therefore approached him earlier this year. So that was kind of the start of this kind of moving about into this direction. And so not only is a fantastic vocalist, but also multi-instrumentalist who can help them in various ways with different instrumental things on tour, I'm sure. And it sounds like they kind of flew him in to make sure he matched the chemistry of the band, not just being an incredible musician and vocalist, but also just having that correct chemistry to kind of integrate well with the band members, I think is an important thing. So Nick DiVirgilio commented about how they flew him into London several weeks ago to hang out together for a few days, and the chemistry immediately felt right. So I'm celebrating this. I'm really excited for the direction of the band. I'm glad they're continuing, and I'm excited to hear what they have coming forward. You know, it might be a little while till we hear like a full album from these guys, from this new configuration of the group. I'd imagine probably sometime in 2023 seems to be what they're projecting for after they do this kind of smaller European tour towards the end of this year. But you know, I'm always excited to hear what this band has to do. They're an incredible group of musicians, almost becoming sort of a super group of sorts, really, because they're bringing in all these disparate members from other projects and other bands and bringing them together, and just it's becoming a collective unit of just really great prog musicians with a great singular goal to provide, you know, incredible music for their fans. So I'm really excited about that. Kind of unfortunate news, Carly Bryant, who's one of their newer members, keyboardist and vocalist, is unable to tour with the band in September of this year because of family reasons, but she's still a part of the band and will return with them when she's able to after this tour, I imagine. But it sounds like it's going to be a great lineup for their upcoming tour with Braveen, DiVirgilio, and Sponton. Of course, Rickard Sjöblom is joining, or Sjöblom, and they're also going to bring in guitarist Dave Foster, violinist vocalist Claire Lindley, who are part of the band, and then adding in keyboardist Oscar Holdorf and the big train brass section led by Dave Desmond. So it's going to be quite a big group of musicians on stage. It should be quite an event and a spectacle, covering their tracks from throughout the years, and including, it says, one new song that they've worked on. So it should be a pretty amazing show that should be really, really amazing to witness, to see this new band and see their new chemistry and what we can expect moving forward from this group of musicians. So they have tour dates, like I said, in September this year throughout Europe. You know, go on their site and check out those dates if you're interested. Definitely going to be fun to check those out. And just really exciting news. So I'm very positive about this. I checked out a few live clips from Alberto Braveen just to kind of get a feel, and he is a fantastic vocalist. You know, he's really, really cool, and I think it's going to make for a really interesting addition to what's already a fantastic group of musicians. So I'm excited to follow that and to, of course, deliver the news every step of the way as they proceed and do these things together as a group. All right, so item number 3, Haken released a new single called Nightingale this week. Really exciting. It was released on April 26th, so I've had a couple days to sit with it. Any new Haken music is exciting to me because they're one of my all-time favorite bands. I think they're one of the best progressive bands out right now. They just do incredible work. Of course, this is their first new music since they replaced their keyboard player. Diego Tejeda was their previous keyboard player, and now they brought back into the fold Pete Jones, who was kind of an earlier member of the group, and they've kind of brought him back in this era. So this is the first new music with him reintegrated into the band, and it sounds really fantastic. It's really a cool blend of their classic old school sound, kind of like the Visions era, but also blending some of that modern, heavier aesthetic that came about on Virus and Vector, their previous 2 albums. So I think it's a really cool melding of all of their styles and kind of pointing ahead to the future as well. There's some jazzy kind of undertones, especially towards the beginning, and then it gets into a heavier direction as it goes throughout. Some wonderful singing from Ross Jennings. The production value is really, really amazing. It's just off the charts. They always do a great job with that. The makes is just, from Jens Bogren is just fantastic. Just really brings out all the detail and all the power and energy of the music. So really cool. Lyrically, the song is a reflection on the creative process itself, and a message that although it may be difficult of late to remember to be thankful for the positives in life, be they big or small, is kind of the idea behind the song lyrically. And kind of part of this, there was a little bit of a contest where many other fans submitted cover artwork for the single release, and they selected a winner to have their artwork as the promotional cover for this single. So that was kind of cool. I don't know if this single is meant to be part of their upcoming album. I imagine that's probably likely that this will be a track on an upcoming album that will be released, but they haven't released any information about an upcoming album, so I don't know the timeline or when that could happen. But they're going off on tour very soon. They're going to start on Cruise to the Edge, which is right around the corner, May 2nd to May 7th, and then touring with Symphony X all through May and the first half of June, so all through the States here in the US. So it should be quite a fun tour. I have tickets to see them when they come my way in Santa Ana here, but we'll see the logistics of that. There's a lot of things going on in May and early June here, so I'm kind of trying to schedule things out and figure it out. But I'm hoping to see them live and experience Symphony X as well. So a lot of great things happening in the Haken camp, and really excited for new music. This single was a really great harbinger of what is to be expected from them moving forward. So I'm really excited about it. Item number 4, I saw that guitar legend Adrian Belew is releasing his first solo digital album, Elevator, in advance of his US tour. So Adrian Belew is a legendary guitarist who's done a lot. He's very diverse in his things that he's done in various projects, notable for his work, I believe, with King Crimson especially. But he's just a very creative and quirky musician who's done a lot of prolific stuff in his own right. A lot of his own solo material has been out there, and so he's released a single of this upcoming digital album, Elevator, called A13, which is available now as a single wherever you listen to music. Basically, I've put a link to a YouTube video of it in the description as well. And so it's his 25th solo record, and with most of his solo releases, he writes the song, produces the record, and plays and sings everything. So it should be really cool. Elevator includes 38 of Adrian's recent digital paintings, as well as lyrics to the songs. So it should be a cool, unique package. 12 songs ranging from delicate ballads to raging art rock, as well as Adrian's unique brand of avant pop music. So should be quite a cool thing. And then he's going to be touring the US and Canada this summer, starting July 13th, in promotion of it. And it should be a cool experience to catch him live, touring with his trio, including bassist Julie Slick and drummer Johnny Luca. And so it should be kind of a classic power trio with some songs they've never performed before, and short solo acoustic performances of favorites and new songs from this digital album. So should be a really cool time. Really should be fun. He's played, with Frank Zappa and King Crimson, and just really been a notable musician in the prog sphere. So I felt like this is notable news, and he's touring, of course, throughout North America in July and August. So should be fun to check him out, and cool to check out that digital new album, Elevator. That should be a fun one to listen to. That should hopefully have some quirky, fun material on it. And then item number 5, I just wanted to point out some new singles that were released this week. And there's been a lot of great singles. In fact, I usually do what I call my weekly top 5, where I talk about like the 5 latest prog singles that have been notable to me, and give links to them and for their YouTube videos in the description of this video. So please check those out. One that I wanted to highlight is Pure Reason Revolution launched a new single, Dead Butterfly, which is a fantastic track. A little bit heavier and kind of grungy in my estimation. Starts out with some beautiful harmony vocals, though, that really are sublime, and I thought well done. But then they move into a heavier direction. They say this probably sees us at our heaviest. Bring Me the Horizon meets Smashing Pumpkins meets Fleetwood Mac. So quite a varied description there of the single. And of course, this is in release of their upcoming album, Above Cirrus, which is released May 6th, which is just coming up, next week. So their new album is Eminent, and they've already released 3 tracks from it, so a big chunk of the album has been released, and everything I've heard from it has been fantastic. So really excited to hear the full album, and that should be a fun one. And then another single released was the new track, The Vortex, from Derek Sherinian, from his upcoming album, Vortex, which comes out on July 1st. Just really hard driving, progressive metal fusion kind of stuff going on with great keyboard soloing and all of that kind of stuff. So fantastic track, and it should be a fun thing. Of course, Derek Sherinian is a very notable keyboard player. He's done a lot of solo work, but he also played briefly with Dream Theater and plays now in the band Sons of Apollo with Mike Portnoy and Bumblefoot. Really fantastic musician, and he has a lot of really cool guest stars on this upcoming album, Vortex, so it's kind of piqued my interest, coming off the heels of his previous solo album, The Phoenix, so it should be really cool. And yeah, those are kind of the news items that I wanted to discuss today. Really some cool stuff going on, some great new music. And I really recommend you guys check out my description for all of these links to these YouTube videos, to these singles and such. Really fun stuff. And I'm excited for all of this stuff that's coming out and really, really having a lot of fun. This past week, I went to the Transatlantic concert here in LA with my friend Kevin, and Jana was there as well. We went as the 3 of us and had a really great time. It was a fun experience. I plan to do some kind of review on it. I want to. The month of May is really packed with a lot of stuff going on for me. It's my 10-year anniversary with my wife. We're celebrating that, so we're doing a lot of stuff to celebrate, going out of town for long stretches of time. So the shows may be a little bit... there may be some gaps, there may be some weeks that we take off a little bit from doing episodes, but I'm trying to plan things ahead of time so there's always something going on with the channel, so there's no long pauses or breaks. In fact, I will announce that next week there won't be a New Music Friday. Unfortunately, it's just impossible. May 5th is the actual anniversary of me and my wife, and we're taking a weekend trip that week, and it just doesn't make any sense for me to squeeze in a New Music Friday show, so I'll have to wait on it, and maybe the next Friday after that, we might do some kind of a live stream New Music Friday with Jana, but we're still working out all the details. I don't want to announce anything too concretely, because it's all a little bit up in the air, but I'm kind of hoping to have some show this next Friday in place of New Music Friday, so that there's at least something coming out. But we'll see. It might be tough to pull off with the things that I have going on. But I do want to do a Transatlantic concert review sometime in the near future. And I filmed a show with my best friend Kevin, who came for the concert, about our top 5 Neil Morse albums that, if I can turn that around, might be released in the next week or two. So I'm excited for that one. And I have, like I said, a review of Urskog by Kaipa coming out this next week on Tuesday. And I'm doing kind of a fun thing with the Jana Reacts series. We talked about it on our 1-year anniversary show that we did last Sunday. I want to point your attention to that. It's been 1 year of Nathan on Shuffle, so we celebrated that. And so for throughout the month of May, instead of our usual shuffling picks, we're doing kind of pre-selected picks for the month, counting down the top viewed artists that we've covered on Nathan on Shuffle, on Jana Reacts specifically. So that should be a lot of fun to go through those top 5 bands that have been the most viewed on the channel. And I tried to sift through all the comments to figure out what the most requested songs were. And what I kind of determined was that most people requested live versions of songs by these bands. So it's all live versions. We're going to watch all videos of these bands performing live and doing a selection of different songs from them. So we're counting it down. We're starting it off this Sunday with Rush. They're the number 5 most viewed band on Jana Reacts. And we're going to be doing a live version of Xanadu and reacting to that. So that should be a lot of fun for those Jana Reacts fans out there. And so, yeah, that should be a fun month. There's a lot coming out. There's a lot of great prog music. And I'm going to try to keep up the pace of shows, even though we're going out of town. And so you might see little dips here and there. But I've got a schedule that if we can stick to it, I think we can get out some good shows here. So thank you guys so much for your support. I really appreciate it. You guys are amazing out there. Hopefully you're excited about some of this prog news and some of the upcoming stuff on the channel. And please let me know in the comments any news items I may have missed or any new releases that have come out that I didn't hear about or that just weren't mentioned yet. I did want to turn attention also, this week I did my latest New Music Shuffle style show where I talk about several new releases. Didn't get as much attention, which is to be expected since they're a little bit more obscure album choices, but I'd hope that some of you will go back to it and use it as kind of a way to get some new music recommendations, because there's some fantastic albums that I talked about, and I think it's such a wide spread of different kinds of music that pretty much anyone should be able to find something that they'll appreciate in that mix of albums. So please check that one out. Check out all my previous videos and content, and hopefully you'll stay tuned for what's coming up soon. So thank you guys so much, and hopefully you're excited as I am for what's coming out. And please just keep enjoying the music. That's all I really care for, is that you keep enjoying it and having fun with whatever you're listening to. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in a future video. Bye.